Two. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. You have found the Gamer Social Club podcast. I am your host, Nathan Lockhart, aka One Hot Dragon, and I am also joined by the best F-bomb dropping guy I know, the world's #1 Space Marine fan, Fraser, aka F-bomb. How are you today, Fraser?
Mate, I'm doing bloody marvelous, thank you.
And I am also joined by.
Did he just like max out his fucking microphone?
I think so. I didn't hear anything.
No, it just was like white noise.
Oh my gosh. I howled for Husky, and all of my dogs fucking lost it.
That's amazing.
I can't believe you guys couldn't hear that because they like ran up to the side. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, here's the puppies. All right, Megan's bringing the new puppy. Here he is. He's only 5 months old.
So fluffy. Yeah, no, you maxed out everything. It just went silent.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, it went way too loud.
You were falling out of your chair. I was like, is he gonna...
Dude, I howled and yeah, the dog just freaking lost it. Yeah, it got really loud over here. Anyways, I'm joined by the Husky Hokage, aka Marcus. How are you today, Marcus?
I am doing bloody marvelous, as Fraser just said. So I'm with him on it. It's an awesome day. Awesome day.
And then hold on. I want to make sure I don't mess this up. I got this. I've been thinking on this one. All right, let's see. Okay, all right. We've got AKA Jeffrey, AKA Godfrey. Yeah, he's not from Elden Ring. But we got I couldn't remember. I accidentally spell checked your name the other day and I put Godfrey. And I was like, you know what? For the Elden Ring god, it actually is kind of fitting. It's kind of fitting.
I'll take it.
Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, aka Jeff from the Fuck!
You're gonna get it one day.
Indestructibles.
It's the Indestructibles podcast. How are you today, Godfrey Elden Lord?
I'm doing well here at the Interactive Distractions podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you probably should fix that up for him.
Oh my gosh!
For the entire Game of the Year thing, this time I can't let it slide.
My gosh! I don't know what's wrong with me, dude. I listened to your guys' the newest episode the other night, and I was like, okay, and just fuck. I'm still doing it. Okay,
it makes sense. Plus, no one ever says Interactive Distraction. It's always Indus. So that's always a thing too. So yeah.
Yep. See, I started doing that, and then I knew it was wrong. So then I immediately tried to fix it, and I made it worse.
That'll happen.
Oh man. So, anyways, today we are going to be talking about the Xbox Developer Direct that is coming. We've got Assassin's Creed Shadows delayed again. But first,
pretty sad about that.
Let me tell you about the Gamer Social Club. It is a place where gamers from all around the world come and share their love for video games together in a positive environment. Our goal is to give gamers a platform to share their experiences, to add to the conversation in the games industry, to give more gamers a sense of community, and bring a little more happiness to your life.
To your lives.
And,
we need to get that in. We need to all
to your life. And this month, we have been playing through... Fraser, what have we been playing through?
Dude, we've been playing Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.
Hell yeah, we have.
Yep, with the unfortunate, I guess, closure or servers turning... No, the servers aren't turning off. I think the servers are staying on. But there's no more
Dates.
Yeah, there's no more help from the devs. They've kind of said, cool, we're done with this now. They released Deathstroke, and that's it. And do you know what? It's really unfortunate because it is really fun. It's a really fun game, and I think as a community, this has been the kind of most interaction I feel like there's been in a long time with the game of the month. Um, yeah, and I've had a couple of games with you, Nathan. I've played some with Steve. I actually noticed that Jeff was playing a bit this
I did
morning.
finally get to jump into it. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm not far. I'm just like, still in the. I'm past the tutorial and past the first introduction to all the characters. So I'm still the first time you're basically in the city doing the stuff around there. So I still don't even have like their suits that you know how you wear them in the tutorial, then you'll lose them because then it's like the beginning of the Suicide Squad. So I'm still there. I mean, it's fine. It's a fun game. I just think the problem with it is it's not what people expected or wanted from the studio, and that hurt it quite a bit.
It definitely did. But like, you know, if you come into it as this is just a fun like co-op looter shooter, it is a really fun co-op looter shooter.
Yeah, and it gives me Anthem vibes big time. And I was a fan of Anthem. I liked it. It was fun with friends. It did get repetitive, and I kind of hear that's kind of what this is kind of like too. But even down to like the combat loop of melee grenades, your specials, whatever, and like flying. Well, I'm using mostly Deadshot just because I find his traversal the easiest to do right now. So I'm flying around like Iron Man, and right away I was like, it's kind of like Anthem, but in a good way. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'll try to jump on with you guys at some point. I've cleared out another game today, which we can talk about later. But it freed up some time to open up a new slot, and with the news that we're going to talk about later too, I have more time to get to my backlog.
Even more time.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. My only thing that I don't like about Suicide Squad is the fucking boss battles. They are the worst. Like I don't know,
design or just hard or
no, the design.
Or all the above.
It's all the same. It's all about countering because you know they're the superheroes. They are supposedly like way tougher than you, huge bullet sponges, and all you need to do is kind of just counter their attacks, and you just counter for like 10 minutes, and then they're dead.
Yeah, it wasn't until we got to the boss fights that I was like, oh, this should not have been Kill the Justice League. This should have been just some other random enemy, villain. It didn't feel like it fit narratively. As soon as I got into the actual battle, I was kind of hoping that like they would add a little more. They tried. I mean, I would love to sit down and actually talk about this and have like a whole spoiler cast, but it's just, they really tried narratively to give a reason as to why the Suicide Squad would be able to kill these people, but then it's like, okay, they tried narratively, but then as soon as they get into the reality of actually fighting them, it's like, oh, this is just not good. This would not happen.
It would have just been decimated in the first second. There was no fight. It's not a fight. It's a bullet sponge dodge. Dodge mechanics, bullet sponge.
That's not fun. That's the least fun boss fight in anything.
And there's fucking heaps of them. There's at least 5 in the story. So
And that's the thing is I've gone back to Dragon Age Veilguard, and people said the exact same thing about Veilguard, and it's the thing of, well, you can change all the settings in that game. So I don't feel like that's the same kind of argument, but this is a hot topic button for me personally, because we see this argument and this conversation all the time in video games where people are like, oh, it's repetitive, it's the same thing over and over again. Well, that's what a video game is. So it's a matter of like, what I would love to have a conversation as to what is a repetitive game. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, Call of Duty's repetitive. You sit there and play multiplayer all day, every day. So what keeps it from being repetitive?
I don't play Call of Duty, but with other competitive games, I think the big difference is you are doing the same thing over and over, but because you're playing people, it's always different every single match. So it's like a fighting game. Like you're fighting one-on-one over and over, but your opponents are going to change up. You're going to change up. You're going to change what you do, your strategy, your tactics. But yeah, I get you. Most games are inherently repetitive to some extent.
But it's then how do you make that repetitiveness fun? Like there's there's plenty of games that are repetitive and
Yeah.
I still loved them and enjoyed them and will play hours and hours and hours and hours of it. And then there's the ones where you're like, fuck, this is repetitive. Like what's that difference? Where's that line in the sand where it's like it goes from like, oh, this sucks to like, oh yeah, I can do this over and again.
Enemy variety helps a little bit.
Yeah,
Yep.
Definitely.
It does.
Definitely.
And I will
Add in
say
some puzzles.
Suicide Squad doesn't have the enemy variety, and I understand the complaint of it's repetitive. I just personally, I'm with Fraser where it's like I'm just enjoying it though. Like I'm enjoying the loop of do this, that, and the other thing to unlock the next gun, and it's a looter shooter.
Yeah, that's right.
Stranding is what I just finished today, and you talk to people who fell off that game, me included. Like 2 weeks ago, I would have been this person who basically said, "Yeah, it's a what's it called? A walking simulator, not a walking simulator, like a delivery service game, like a UPS sim." And that is the bulk of the gameplay. But then as you keep playing, there's like 4 or 5 totally different game mechanics that it introduces to you. And that I think keeps it fresh, and they do it. That part is good. It's paced well. Like the second half of that game, I think is definitely paced better than the first half. I think by design. But I don't want to get to spoil anything. But there's some hand-to-hand combat in there. There's some third-person shooting. There's some genres that you might not even expect to be in there. That's in there, and I think that helps with a game. A single player game at least. Change up the gameplay every once in a while, even if it's not like the minecart level in Resident Evil 4. Like that level in Resident Evil 4 is awesome. It's only happens once, but it breaks up the tedium of not tedium. That's a bad kind of negative, but that flow of you've been doing for the entire game the entire time, and it's like, oh, okay, this is cool, and then it kind of refreshes you to go back to doing what you're doing before. That helps me anyway.
So basically what you're saying is that it becomes a 2D platformer beat 'em up?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Card game, card deck builder.
Balatro. Well, I don't know. I haven't played Balatro. I don't know. So let's go ahead and jump right into the news. But it's also the most useless news segment. Fraser, do you know why it's the most useless news segment?
Well, Nathan, it has been a couple of weeks, so I'm a bit rusty. But let me tell you, if you followed us on any of the social media outlets, you'd already know all of this information. So first off, gamersocialclub.ca is the website where you find all the latest and greatest news and reviews. We're on Twitter at gamer_s_c. We're dabbling in the blue skies at the moment. See if that does anything for us. Gamer Social Club, that one. And yeah, that's really it.
Alrighty, perfect. Hey, you did great. It's been a hot minute. Dude, we've been sick. I've been sick since Christmas Day. So we've been, and then Russell's been sick. Russell's not here this weekend because he went to a wrestling show tonight. So let's see. I guess that was more important than us, but whatever. All right, so let's jump in to the first bit of news that we have here. So Xbox has revealed that they got the next developer direct intern. I am going to gamersocialclub.ca for all my information. Are you? Adam, aka Addy, aka oh no, it's Addy. He wrote this article for us.
How many AKAs? AK-47 Addy.
Oh man, sorry, my throat hasn't cleared up, so I can't make the machine gun noise. All right, so they're going to be doing a deep dive on the 23rd, which is a Thursday of January, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. And then let's see. The games they're going to be covering and talking about is Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Super Secret Surprise. I started reading that off as if it was the title of a game. But there will be a surprise game at this. Now, to clarify, this is an unannounced game. It has never officially been announced. And this is where, as a podcast, it's hard for us as Gamer Social Club to stick to our, what's been rumored and what's not been rumored. So I told the team today, I was like, hey, just be thinking about, like, what do you think that secret could possibly be? But out of all these things that they're going to deep dive into, Marcus, what are you most excited to see from this and get to hear from the Devolver? Oh my gosh, I said Devolver. Xbox Developer Direct.
I am really all the games. I mean, all the games that they're that we know about, they are some exciting games. But for me, Expedition 33, I'm really intrigued by that. But South of Midnight has been on my radar since we saw it some years ago or what have you. And just leading up to what we've seen so far from the last preview saw with what's her name? Hazel, riding on the back of the giant catfish. And then it's Two-Toed Tom or whatever, the big alligator or whatever it was. Like that whole sequence from there. Seeing that, I am focused in on South of Midnight. I'm looking forward to Expedition 33, but South of Midnight is what I really, really, really am excited for. That now, as far as the surprise game, I don't know. I know we have some other, there's a bunch of other studios that Xbox has that's under the umbrella that maybe, somebody mentioned a Shadow Drop. I mean, it's about, it would be awesome. Somebody mentioned, they, with everything that's been going on, I'm not sure if the contract has ended. Maybe get Final Fantasy 16 finally coming to
That's what my prediction is.
Yeah, and I personally would love that. I would love to see that come over. Maybe like I said, it's so much that could be done. And I can't wait to see that. But South of Midnight is kind of like my high that I'm looking forward to.
With Avowed coming out here in February, and our most anticipated being Fable, so we're thinking we're going to see Fable this year. There's a lot of games coming out of Xbox this year. When do you think South of Midnight? Oh, and then Doom and Expedition 33. When do you think we see South of Midnight?
I'm pretty sure. So Avowed's coming up next month. And we have Doom is what? Doom is it?
Doom I don't think there is a relate. Yeah. No.
Okay. So maybe we'll get the release date for Doom. I'm thinking March or somewhere in there. So I'm thinking South of Midnight, maybe that summer, almost fall game, like September, like kind of like Starfield was, August, September, in that area. I don't know if we're getting a new Call of Duty this year, so you don't want to put it too close to that. No, they're not the same type of games. However, you don't want something to, interfere with the sales or whatever the case may be. But I'm hoping, Doom is in the first part of before summer, or right around summer, right before summer, and then maybe South of Midnight comes in. That game we get between summer and fall is well,
they did say that everything on this direct should be the first half of the year.
Okay.
So
really?
So I'm thinking South of Midnight.
That's exciting.
Didn't hear that. Didn't know that.
And that's why Fable and those other games are not on there, because they're going to be more of the summer showcase direct that they'll do. Like that. That's rumored. So that's So I think South of Midnight might be earlier than we think. I
would love to see it like around like Flintlock time. Because Flintlock got a lot of attention. That was, I'm wanting to say
March?
April or June, maybe.
I don't
Yeah, I would
remember.
love to see it around springtime for sure, because I think there would be a lot more attention on it.
It'll be
Yeah.
awesome. I think it'll be a summertime game for because I'm not sure when some of the bigger games are coming out, but if they can move it up, put it in this like in that summer slot or right before like that May first part of June slot, I think that'll be awesome. That'll be right before Summer Game Fest and a lot of stuff is going on. Kids getting out for something like
Yeah.
it's. I think that'll be a nice spot for it. But that'll be awesome. I didn't know that. I did not have that knowledge.
Yeah, they haven't like that's well, that's been their tradition so far. Like
Yeah,
everything that's
okay.
been shown in the first direct has always been stuff before the summer showcase that comes out before that. Of course, the Starfield one being the outlier because it was delayed that 1 year, whatever. But yeah, that's been their tradition. So people like I guess they haven't officially said that, but it's probably safe. And also, they probably need to have some at least a release month for these. And I don't
Yeah.
think anybody is going to name a release month after say May because they're all waiting for that GTA 6 delay to happen. So to finally open it up,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if they say
Yeah,
like
I'm-
South of Midnight's coming out in like October, and then Duke is like, hey, we're gonna have GTA in October, then South of Midnight doesn't stand a chance.
No.
Doom probably wouldn't stand. No game stands a chance.
Yeah. And you want to get out of it. You want to get out the way of
Yeah.
GTA 6. And
Like,
that's I think that's
mobile
kind of
games
why.
want to get out of the way of that too.
Yeah. And that's why we haven't got any big game releases.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've no release dates for that back half of the year for real because of everybody's worried about when is GTA 6 coming out. So
Yeah.
and I rightfully so. So I understand.
So the Midnight looks dope. Did you watch that deep dive they did a couple months back? The developer, it was like an episode just for South of Midnight.
I saw some of it.
Some of it.
I
Yeah,
saw some of it.
that game looks good. I love the art style, man. The way that animation, the way it moves, and I've seen people complain about that. I love that shit. I think it looks awesome.
It looks awesome. I saw been saying, the stuff they've been showing where she's been kind of like almost like building stuff out of the magic or whatever, and doing like stuff like that. I'm excited for it, and that looks so good. But I've been trying my best to. Okay, I've seen enough. I'm just I'm trying to, it's like movies and stuff where you see like you don't have to keep
You don't want to see anymore.
trailers.
Yeah.
I don't want to see new trailers. Just give me the game. Give me the game. So yeah,
and I don't want to see no Gandalf the White in the trailer. So you're like, oh yeah, cool. Well, he obviously comes back. He's obviously not dead.
I want to see what this studio can do with a big budget or a bigger budget, because their last few games have been kind of meh, but they've also kind of looked meh from the beginning. This I don't think looks like a much higher budget game.
It does. It does.
Then Fraser, you're the Doom guy. What?
Oh, dude.
I know you're excited to see Doom come to this thing. So when do you think that comes? What are you kind of hoping to see from this deep dive?
So what I want is more heavy metal. I want it to be bigger and heavier than the last one, which is saying a lot because Doom Eternal, I don't know if you guys saw it, there was like a little documentary about how them making the soundtrack for that. And they made a heavy metal choir from like vocalists from like some pretty big bands coming in together in the same room, just being a metal as fuck. And that's what I want. I just want.
For Hellsinger, right?
No, for Doom Eternal.
Oh, really? I thought Doom Eternal was Mick Gordon.
Yep, it is him. But he made a choir. He made a heavy metal choir.
Oh shit! I don't think I need to see that video. Yeah,
for Eternal,
wow.
And it's got dudes from like Anthrax. They're there. The singer from that Mongolian band Who. I don't know if you know of them.
No.
It's like he sings in Mongolian and he does that Mongolian throat singing.
Okay,
So fucking cool. So yeah, it's like 15 minutes. It's just on YouTube. It's pretty epic.
I need to check that out. It sucks he's not going to be back for this soundtrack though, because they
Isn't
have
he?
some.
I didn't.
No, they have some very bad blood. Him and Bethesda do not get along anymore.
No, that sucks.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
he was considering suing them or something, or like he's basically
Oh.
claimed that they used a bunch of music that they said they weren't going to use, and then also, yeah, it's a big thing. They had a
That's
big
upsetting.
falling out after Eternal.
That is really upsetting.
There was a lot of drama.
well,
I remember it. I don't remember all the details, but yeah, there was a lot of shit that went down.
Mhm.
Fingers crossed. I mean, those are some fucking heavy boots to fill, my friend.
Yeah, they are.
So, and that the music is what sets the tone for Doom. If the music is wrong, it's gonna
the
be
game's
bad.
wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I just want more, bigger Doom. That's all I want.
Well, I'm sitting here Googling, like, okay, so who's doing the music for for the Dark Ages?
New one?
And it looks like there's no information, so I bet you anything that they're going to at least talk about this a little bit at this direct. Because
I
it
hope
is,
so.
As for a release date, then and there. It's
You think
available
so?
now. No, it won't, because one, we need a fucking super duper special deluxe edition that hasn't been out
Yeah.
with like a helmet and a life-size Doomslayer. That's what I want. Mon
It's only
would
like
fucking-
$500.
Yeah, she'd kill me. But it's so worth it.
Listen, I say the same thing about South of Midnight. I want Hazel riding the fish. Like that's what I want a statue
Dude,
of.
yeah.
Like,
Yep.
give me that. Give me a deluxe edition with Hazel,
Yeah.
with a statue of Hazel riding the fish, or two-toed something. Give me a good statue in a deluxe edition. Like I want that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Did you guys see? It was either this morning or yesterday. GameStop have announced like a special edition for Expedition
Expedition?
33.
No.
It's only PlayStation.
That's
There's no
Really?
special edition for Xbox. There's a physical
Oh.
edition, but there's no special edition. It's just PlayStation. So there you go.
That's
You
weird.
know, they're showing
Womp
off
womp.
they're showing off the game at an Xbox fucking event,
yeah.
and they're not even giving us a special edition. Like,
Wow.
That's
I
garbage.
Yeah.
don't know. It's kind of a
That's this is where I think it's bullshit. They should at least fucking like this is where the argument comes in for not having a disc with these things, because at least you can order a special edition and just say what you want the digital code to be for, and that
Mhm.
eliminates that problem.
Yeah.
If they don't want to produce the discs, whatever, that's fine. Give us the option to be like, if we buy the stuff that would come with it, give us the download code, whatever.
exactly, because like most games aren't even on the discs now anyway.
No,
So
very rare.
we're just getting a physical thing.
So it's a
like you
physical
said-
license. Is what
Yeah,
you basically
There's
have. Yeah.
there's no reason why. I mean, that Assassin's Creed Mirage did it. They did a collector's edition without the game. So it's just a generic collector's edition. You got a steelbook, you got some little fancy things, you got a little statue, and it was reasonably priced as
Yeah,
well.
it
So
was
like,
really
why don't they do
reasonable.
stuff like that?
Mm.
How hard is a
They're-
steelbook?
They're
It's
gonna
got
have to start
nothing-
doing that soon. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, when you make them in bulk with those sizes, they're literally like cheap as hell.
Yeah.
But-
But anyway, that's my win.
Like,
Jan,
I'll
of the
be
way.
happy if they get a South of Midnight physical edition, like
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
Is that being
yeah.
Microsoft? I don't know.
Same with Doom. Like,
Well,
Are
Doom
we
Doom
gonna-
might not get one. Yeah, it'll get one on PlayStation, like you said. But yeah, it's-
right?
yeah,
Which
it's so
sucks.
backwards.
Yeah.
It is super
Yeah.
backwards, especially when it's a Xbox Studios.
Yeah.
When do you think Doom comes out? Aside from well, you said you think it's gonna be day one, but
Yeah, it won't be. Like I said, I haven't seen anything about a physical release. I haven't seen anything anywhere where I can pre-order it. So does that mean months?
I mean,
Are we thinking like April, May, June
it's like
somewhere?
Jeff said. I mean, we know it comes out in the first half of the year, and I've been sitting here while you've been talking. looking up the past release dates of other Doom games, and I was pretty positive it's always been March, but like the original Doom came out in December, and the 2016 Doom came out in May, and then Doom Eternal came out in March. So, I mean, I would put my money on March.
They'd had to release it on Easter, fucking Good Sunday,
Nah.
or whatever. That'd be,
That'll piss off the Christians.
Yeah, that'll get them some sales.
It's funny because, I mean, if anything, this glorifies God, right? Go kill some demons, right?
Go kill some demons, exactly. But yeah, I'll wait for it. I'm not terribly fussed. I've got so much to play at the moment. I'd love to see it sooner rather than later, but
if it comes out in March, nah, it's not happening over here, buddy. I'm sorry. Like, I'm really excited, but listen, Assassin's Creed got delayed, and now we've got Killing Floor 3 all in the same month. My plate's full. Yeah. I can't. And then Jeff, are you excited? One game we haven't really talked about yet is this Expedition 33. Could you tell me a little bit about that? What do you know about it? Are you excited about it?
Yes, I am excited about this one. So this is like it's a turn-based JRPG kind of Western kind of style. Like when you look at it, it looks like Final Fantasy 16 actually, but it's turn-based but with kind of fluid action into it. You're doing stuff all the time, kind of like anyone here ever played Lost Odyssey back on the 360? So like it's turn-based, but you still have to do button presses and stuff like that, like combos and things like that. This kind of looks like that. And I know that Ben Starr is like he's the lead in it, so there's gonna be some good voice acting.
Hell yeah!
This is the one I'm looking forward to seeing the most, not because I'm the most anticipated, just because I'm already sold on Doom. I was already sold on South of Midnight, and I am kind of sold on Expedition 33. But this is the one I want to see more of. Like I want to see more of what this has, because 2 years ago I probably would have been like, not for me. But my tastes have changed a bit the last couple of years, so this is like right up my alley now. I'm like, okay. I don't know too much about it. I just know there's some people that have made some good games on the team that I cannot remember, and that the game's not supposed to be like overly long either. So, which is also a breath of fresh air.
That's what turns me off JRPGs. Like, even though like I just dumped 75 hours into Gotham Knights, putting 50 hours into a JRPG seems crazy to me.
Well, it's supposed to be, I think they said around 20 hours, like 15. So it's actually like really short. So I shouldn't even say JRPG because I don't think it's
doesn't
not
fit
really
the requirements.
But I see turn based and I'm like, my brain automatically goes there. But who knows? I think this is going to be kind of like a sleeper hit kind of. I think the release dates though will be, I think it's going to go Expedition 33, Doom, South of Midnight. That's the order I think they're going to come out.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think Doom's going to be just before the summer, and then South of Midnight will be probably just around like May, June, or something like that.
Do you think
or those two can be switched?
You think Expedition could be a game that comes out like on the day when they talk about it?
No. I think the game that comes out on the day, I think is going to be Final Fantasy 16. That's what I think is going to be like because the mystery game I think is going to be whatever Double Fine's working on, because we have no idea what they've been doing. They haven't done anything since Psychonauts 2. So I think that's going to be the announcement. But they usually do on these. They do like the 3 games, the hidden game, and then they do like a surprise game. Like last time was Visions of Mana, I think was like the surprise one that no one knew was going to be there. That I think is going to be the shadow drop of Final Fantasy 16, because that's also the day that Final Fantasy Rebirth drops on PC. And my initial prediction would have been they're just going to shadow drop that on Xbox as well, but I don't think Sony. I think their hands are tied with that for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think it's the contract for that is I think it has a little bit more length on it. But I think 16, I think it has either it's ended or reached this term to where it can be put. And what's probably going to happen if it do drops on Xbox, what they'll probably do with 16, knowing Sony is it'll go into like PlayStation Plus or something like that because it's been yeah. So
something to
but,
kind of counter that. Yeah.
So,
but
I really hope it is.
I think it's about and they put because it's been a year. They released the PC version, and now it's been about that time, and the timing just seems right. I think so. I think the game that they blur out on it, or the whatever had like the TV signal thing, I think that's going to be we know it's something we don't know because they've said that. Aaron Grieber said it's something that has not been announced. That's I'm going with my gut, and that's kind of I've seen a lot of people say that's probably Double Fine's game, and I think that just makes sense. And then the shadow drop, if there is one, I think will be Final Fantasy.
So, Fraser, you're the only one who hasn't shared with us what you think the super secret surprise is. What do you think it is?
Dude, I can only guess. I have zero clue what it could be.
Mhm.
I can't even think of a developer that it could be.
Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah. What I want is a fucking some sort of like big budget horror title. Like it does like some sort of something new. I don't want multiplayer. It needs to be single player. I don't even want co-op. I just want a full legit single player story driven horror experience. Whatever that looks like, I don't care. Just give it to me.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, I'm really excited for that Chronos game. It's supposed to come out this year, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, I think it is. And aren't we getting the Alien Isolation 2?
I think that's far off.
Or is that still quite
yes,
far off?
It's coming, but it's like far off. Like when they announced it, it was like, hey, this is a thing. We're getting started. Like we'll see it at some point. Same thing goes
decided a title,
which I'm sure we're going to talk about here in a little bit when we talk about Assassin's Creed. But same thing goes for Splinter Cell. It was like they were like, hey, it's happening. We're hiring. Does anybody have any ideas on how to make this? So my hopes and dreams for the super secret surprise, and this isn't influenced by rumors at all. Okay, you just gotta take me for my word at that. But it would be really cool to see Oblivion remake come to fruition, or it'd be cool to see one of the older Fallout games like Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. I mean, Fallout New Vegas remake seems to make a lot of sense for something that would happen during season 2 of Fallout TV show, or like at least let us know that that's something they want to do. I mean, sales for that game went like they skyrocketed from the first season, so it just seems like that would make sense. But
I
go for it.
Because I reckon they're just going to dump more into 76. Like it just makes them so much money. Like why? Like I don't know if I'd buy New Vegas remaster or remake.
Really?
Like I think my time with that and the nostalgia with that is back where it was. I'm not sure of updated graphics or I don't know. I think
And 4 was a mess, the remaster. It made it worse than the backwards compatible Xbox One version on a Series X. And they haven't fixed it. So new people probably bought 4 and were fine with it. People who wanted to play the new version of 4 were disappointed with it. And I don't know if any of those new people will go back and play 3 or New Vegas. Although New Vegas, maybe, because that's where they did tease that at the end of season 1. So I could see that, but I think it would have to be more than a remaster. I think it needs to be like a remake.
from
the same way, like a lot, like the Oblivion one would be. And I love the Oblivion prediction because that's been a rumor forever, and that's the only reason why I'm like, I don't know if this is finally gonna be the one. It's the same with the Gears trilogy remakes. Like that's been a rumor for what, 3 or 4 years now, and that's in the news again. Like people are saying it's definitely being made and it's going to PlayStation 5 day one, and that's already caused a shitstorm on all the socials. So I want
love it.
Oblivion. I hope Nathan's right, because I would love to play Oblivion again with like all redone for sure.
All same, because ever since I've been hearing word about it, like I've been thinking about the reality of what it would look like to go back to that game, and I would.
Oh, it's not pretty.
It's not. It's not. I would
No.
never want to go back to that game, but I remember that game for its stories and you know how fun it was to like be wandering around the woods and you find a rift to hop in there and get stuck in literal hell. And I also loved the the Assassin's Guild.
Shadow Brotherhood,
Yes.
Shadow of the Brotherhood of Shadows,
Brotherhood.
Yes,
or Dark Brotherhood.
Yes. Yes, I loved that quest line. Honestly, I thought that quest line was better than the Skyrim quest line. So I would really love to go back and revisit that game. And I also remember the arena, like going into the arena and just having these fights and having all these people cheered. That was so much fun. But
you
yeah,
should,
They'd have to get Sean Bean. They'd have to get Sean Bean back as well. To be the Emperor or the
And what's his
whatever.
face?
Old mate.
The guy, bald guy.
Yeah.
Star Trek guy. What the hell's his name? Come on, guys, help me out.
I don't know. I don't watch Star Trek.
Yes, Patrick Stewart. Yes, thank you. Thanks, Marcus. Yeah, Patrick Stewart. He's like the most famous like bald dude. But Nathan, you should for shits and giggles boot up Oblivion on your Xbox, and then right after boot up Skyrim, and you'll be amazed on how much of a leap that was in the same generation.
I believe
It's
you.
crazy.
I believe you, dude. I haven't even played Oblivion since like before Skyrim, so yeah, it would actually be kind of fun. That'd be a good content idea, actually.
That'd be funny, yeah. It looked great at the time. It blew my mind when I first played that. I was like, holy shit. Games are never going to look better than this.
Remember those days?
Look at the water. Oh my god.
Exactly.
Fast forward in
Oh, my-
2016 or 18, whenever it was Spider-Man that came out. Look at this shit puddle. What is this crap?
Puddle's garbage.
It's garbage.
Puddlegate.
The apple on this like stand here is square.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Oh my god.
I can't even see my reflection in every single window of the city at the same time. Like, what is this shit?
Can't have ray tracing at 60 frames per second. Come on, people. It's 2025.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Assassin's Creed Shadow Delay. I'm pretty sure all four of us here are excited for Assassin's Creed Shadow. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Assassin's Creed Shadow was originally supposed to come out this past November on like the 14th, 16th, somewhere in that time frame. And it got delayed until February. And now it's being delayed again by a month. Now, the statement they put out gave pretty much no real reason. It was just a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo and basically like, we just want to make the game better, blah, 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 blah. And I mean, just to sum it up, and I mean, honestly, they barely even said that. So with that being said, why? Why? I just, that's my question. Why? What can they do in a month? Should we be worried about Assassin's Creed Shadows? And what does this mean? What does this mean? Somebody take it away. I've got plenty to say about it, but I'd rather you guys take it all away, and then I'll fill in the blank spaces.
I'll just pitch in. I feel like I've talked so much, but with the what can they do, I would say a lot. You played Stalker 2, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because there was that big issue with a lot of the reviews never had the day one patch, so their reviews were very, very low. And I think it was, I want to say it might have been Paris Lilly from like Kind of Funny and like well, you guys all know who Paris Lilly is. He's all over there. He made some comments on when Kind of Funny did their review show, and then people were like, well, we're not having these problems you said there is. And he went back and played it with the day one patch and said, yeah, they fixed a lot in that amount of time. And then just 2 weeks ago, they released another huge patch that fixes so much stuff and got the AI working better. It's almost like a different game. And that's only been about 5 weeks between that and the other patch. So I think within a month, I think they can fix a lot of stuff that they want to clean up before launch. I think it's a very big possibility that they just have optimization to work on and cleaning up some big glitches and bugs that are most likely to be found. I don't know. Do you guys believe like there's those people saying they're getting out of the way to get out of the way of February? But I feel like Assassin's Creed is probably the biggest game
Yeah.
globally. I think, if anything, Avowed, Xbox was scared that it was releasing in the same month.
I was
And
going
now
to say
they're-
Monster Hunter. I feel like everything
that
should be
would've
scared of
been
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I always forget about Monster Hunter. That's
Yeah.
right. Monster Hunter is huge.
That was my. And so I agree with you on it's things that they can definitely do. I agree. They can polish, optimize, make sure everything looks good. With them delaying it again, you get more time to do all that. That's great. That's why I'm not upset. Take all the time you need. But I do think part of it was, I think some of it may have been also to just getting out of the way of some of those other games so that it can have the proper time to like breathe and everybody enjoy it. Because like you said, you do have, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Civ 7. Is that this month or next month?
I think that's next month.
I think, Civ 7, Avowed, and then Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter picked up a lot of fans from the last Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter
Worlds. Yeah.
World.
Huge. Yeah.
It brought in a lot of new people. And then Wilds is coming out, had a beta. The beta was awesome. They got another beta coming out around that same time that Assassin's Creed would have dropped. So it's like, you know what? Let's let's move out the way just a little bit. Now, once again, I don't think it's all because of that, but I think that did have a part. I think it may have had a part to play in it. Just to once again, Assassin's Creed is huge game franchise. Had a movie and all the other good stuff. So did Monster Hunter. Speaking of, but I think Assassin's Creed may have been the bigger franchise, but I think Monster Hunter is kind of up there. And
yeah, I forgot how popular that is now. That's huge.
Capcom has literally they've been knocking games out the park lately, and so just people are ready for Monster Hunter. And like I said, I've had my Assassin's Creed Shadows pre-order since the beginning. I want that statue. So I've had it pre-ordered for a while now. So I'm getting it regardless. But I think just a little bit of that was maybe some polish and optimization and everything. But I also think a little bit of also was, you know what? Everywhere's kind of crowded. Let's move over just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Monster Hunter has grown exponentially in the West since World.
Oh
yeah.
I fully expect the world to be taken over whenever that game comes out. It's all social media, you can't escape it type of thing, and all these articles about it's sold X amount of millions in the first 72 hours or whatever. Fraser, how are you feeling about all this? Because I know you're just as excited as I am.
Yeah, I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. Look, I'm gutted because I want to play it now, but at the same time, it doesn't bother me. Like everyone here, we all just want it to be good. Personally, I have enjoyed every single Assassin's Creed game that has ever released at the time. Definitely, there's going back to them now. Some of them are pretty rough compared to the newer editions, but I feel that the Assassin's Creed franchise is going in a magical direction, and I just want them to get it right. So if you need to take a month to iron out those little kinks, we've seen some of the parkour animations that they've got going on.
Yes, those look awesome. They showed them, I think, for this past week. We saw those. We saw, I think her name is Nawe. She was she was diving over stuff, climbing things, stuff like that. I thought that looked so amazing, looked so good. So I was like, that fueled. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome when it dropped. And then as soon as a day after, it's like, hey, we're gonna delay it just a little bit longer, guys.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, they need to do it. We complain when games are broken on launch. They have to do this. I think every developer should do this. and I think we'll see more do it. Like Stalker had to do it. They get a pass from me because of the situation they were in and the conditions which they developed a game under is unprecedented. That's insane. But yeah, no one wants to be the next Cyberpunk, and no one has that clout of Project Red, CD Projekt Red, to be able to come back from what they did. So, and Star Wars was a huge failure. As much as I enjoyed that game did not sell even close to what they expected, and it was not great at launch. And sadly, Dragon Age was good and very polished at launch, but it also didn't do well. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. But there was another game
we'll never
that really
know, right? We'll never know. The amount of people that say they hate Assassin's Creed and that it's crap, but yet they'll still play it. They'll still play it.
It's like a Call of Duty at this point.
Yeah.
It's cool to hate on it, but people still play it.
So
my only concern was how quickly she fucking climbed up that grappling hook. That girl's got some upper body strength, I can tell you. I'll be struggling.
It was a joke. It was a joke about Nathan Drake. Like if you played Uncharted, you know how every now and then he has to hold on to something or do the man's upper body strength. His punches should literally knock. You should be able to knock folks out in one punch because of all the hand strength. Just his hand strength alone. You would imagine.
Coming from Death Stranding, that's going to be such a breath of fresh air.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I go to my buddy's house. Like, we grew up together, and like he's got one of those pull things above his door frame, and I can't. I don't have the upper body strength to be like pull myself over and over and over again. I mean, he's a master at it. He'll sit there and go to town. But like he calls me up the other day. It's a true story. This is a true fucking story. He calls me up the other day. He's like, I had a dream about you last night. I was like, okay.
This could be weird.
And he was like, we were in this forest, and he's like, there's all these elk looking at us funny, and I was like, dude, I think these elk are gonna fuck us up. And he was like, we gotta go. So we start running, and these elk start chasing us. So we start climbing up this mountain. I get to the top of the mountain, and I look behind, and you're just sitting there just dangling. He's like, you were like, I can't pull myself up. So he was like, of course, he can't pull himself up. So he tries to pull me up, and he's like, I wasn't strong enough, and you fell. He's like, I woke up with this dread that I couldn't save you. He's like, you know what? It's on Nathan for not doing more upper body stuff.
100% on
you. Oh my gosh. So Assassin's Creed, my feelings on it is that I mean, not to get philosophical here, but it's that thing of it's never just one thing. It's never just like, I feel like we're always looking for one answer, one definitive reason as to why it's being pushed back. But I think everything we've talked about this evening, it could just be a mixture of it all. One of the things that came to my mind, and one of the things that I'm very excited about, is the fact that it's coming to Steam on day one. And we've seen games release on Steam badly, and that ruined them. So I think that, whether it could be because of that, and it is the thing of, a month gives you a lot more time to do some more, what's the word I'm looking for? Optimization. Thank you so much. More optimization for Steam, and making sure it's going to work
distractions.
Well. Optimization distractions. At this point, it's going to start being on purpose. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things riding on Assassin's Creed Shadows for Ubisoft specifically, especially after Outlaws. Was supposed to be this, ace in the hole, and it wasn't for them. And not to mention after what's that game that came out you liked, Fraser, a year ago?
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. That got delayed a bajillion times, and we're all just waiting for it. So Ubisoft has kind of just been striking out a lot, and I think they really need this win.
One game that was should have been a home run was Prince of Persia, and that game sold like dog shit.
Yeah.
GameSpot gave it their game of the year, and I was so happy. I'm like, I'm like, not that it's not my game of the year, but it's up there, and and that studio's gone. So
Yeah, and what did it ever come out on Steam? I think there was a lot of people.
I don't think so.
Well,
Did it?
I'll double check. But I'm wanting to say it did. Like eventually,
Yeah.
but
I
I
have no
think that's
idea.
something that they learned this year was like we're hurting ourselves by not putting this
Correct.
stuff on Steam.
Correct. That's what I think. That's what you mentioned with him mentioning it didn't sell well, and people mentioned like it wasn't on
It
Steam.
wasn't Steam.
Yeah, and Ubisoft, like I said, they're shooting themselves in the foot by excluding that audience. Like you said, you do have to nowadays. You have to make sure your game releases on Steam, especially if you want to see.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, that's the best option. And I will say I understand the tactic of how Xbox changed to, trying to put their games everywhere. PlayStation still, doing what they want to do. Nintendo still does what Nintendo's their own thing. But like PlayStation, they saw some success with Helldivers 2. You saw how well Helldivers 2 did when you put it on Steam. Ubisoft saw how much you're missing out by not putting your games on Steam day one.
Yeah.
And make sure you take the time to optimize to make sure it's going to play well on Steam. Because like Nathan just said, if it does release on Steam and it's bad, i.e., you look at one of my favorite games, or a game that would have won the game of the year from myself, would have been Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Okay, yeah.
It came out, and when it came out on Steam, it was
it
had those issues, and people were like, "This game is this," but the game itself, because I played it on Xbox, but the game was amazing. Great story. That would have been my game of the year had it not been for Starfield that year. But
yeah,
listen, I love Starfield. I got to go back and play the
I like
DLC,
Starfield too,
of.
man. I'm on team. I'm with you, man. I think Starfield's a great game. I like Starfield more than Skyrim. I do. Just
listen, and see that was don't shoot me, but I haven't played Skyrim, so playing Starfield was I jumped in. I jumped in and had the time of my I did my end of the year wrap for that year. Normally I have you'll see when I'm on PlayStation it shows what you did for that month or whatever. My September and October were empty because I was playing
Starfield. Love it.
Do you like having 80 the reason I like Starfield better is it's funny because it's the reason a lot of people don't like Starfield, and I think it's because it's more focused than Skyrim. Skyrim is just a lot of I'm gonna go somewhere and squirrel, and then you're gonna go in this way, squirrel, and it's just there's just so much that you just walk to. I couldn't stay focused on anything, so I've never beaten Skyrim ever, the main quest at all. But Starfield I love because it was so easy to keep track of what you wanted to do and do that. Yeah, I can see why people didn't like that. But if you're cool with the hey what with that kind of thing, then I think you'll really like Skyrim, probably more so than I did. I love Skyrim. I think that was my game of the year that year. But see, none of this makes sense when I say it out loud because I would never give Starfield my game of the year it was my game of the year. But I do think I liked it better than Skyrim. But
well, it is that thing of I don't think Starfield gave you that opportunity to just run into that many things all in one place, as opposed to Skyrim. It was all condensed to this one area, which at the time it was a huge area. But it is. I think that's always been the magic of Bethesda is just you're walking around and you just randomly find a giant and then you kill that giant and it leads into this whole entire thing and you can choose to follow it. But if that's not your play style and your play style is I'm tackling the story here, I want to get done with the story, then it's not going to be a game for you. I can absolutely see why that would be a turn off for you. I had one buddy who was he grilled me because he was like, I can't believe you're fast traveling. Do you know how much you're missing out on? And at first I was like, okay, bro, let's calm down. But then after he said he gave his opinions, I'm like, no, that actually makes sense. There's a lot of caves and side quests that I would have never found if I was constantly fast traveling. So I kind of got his point. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So we decided not to stick the elks on you.
The elks. Oh, shit. What were you going to say, Marcus?
I was saying I'm experiencing some of that now. So I am doing my first playthrough of The Witcher 3.
Oh,
and
let's go.
I am in. So I played about 20, almost 30 hours of it. And I took a break and I was started playing some other stuff that I had to play. And I jumped back in like right before Christmas or whatever. But I've been playing it pretty much like almost every day for like the past few weeks. And when I tell you, just doing, because I was trying to, well, not trying to mainline it, but I was just somewhat mainlining and doing different stuff like that, not doing a whole lot of side quests. And my friend who's played it several times, he was like, you have got to do the side quests. That's how you level up. That's how you get money and things of that nature. And I was like, okay, I'll start doing the side quests. Start getting so I started doing the side quests. And ever since then, I've been going, I'll do a little bit of the main mission, then I'm off doing God knows what. But I am enjoying the hell out of it. I'm having so much fun with it. I was playing right before I was playing right before I had to come on or whatever. But I am loving The Witcher 3, and it's so much fun.
Oh,
that's
you'll
where
like
CD
Skyrim
Projekt
then.
Red shines.
Yeah.
Their storytelling of their side missions, like
So
Cyberpunk,
good.
it's got some of the best content as the side missions. Man, I'm so jealous that you're experiencing that for the first time. I'd love to go back and play The Witcher again.
100%.
Wait until you get to the DLCs like Blood and Wine and what was the other one? Shit, I always forget the name of the other one.
Blood and Wine was the better one of the two.
Yeah.
But
they're
the other
both
one was
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah.
Stones of something.
Yeah, it always
Hearthstone.
something. No, Hearthstone is that card game, but it's something like that. It's like Heart of Stone or something, or like
Is it Heart and Stone?
Maybe it's.
I have to look it up.
Did you get the
I'm
Game of
looking
the
it
Year
up right
version
now.
or
It's gonna
whatever?
kill me.
Marcus, did you get like the one that has all of it?
I don't think I did. Because I think about it is I've had this game for forever. Like it feels like I've had it for years. And once I finish it or what have you, I was gonna decide if I'm gonna do the DLC or not. I was gonna pick it up, but because I do want to. Also, Cyberpunk is something I wanted to check out as well. Sorry, can you turn that down? Go back in there. It's my son. He has a. But Cyberpunk is something I want to check out next, and that's so I'm like, with all the other stuff that's coming out this year, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time, but once I finish it, I'm probably gonna end up gonna if I'm loving it like I'm loving it now, more than likely I'm gonna want more of it. I'm probably gonna go get the DLC, which it's probably fine for a good deal or whatever, but I'm definitely gonna end up probably getting Blood and Wine and other DLC. I'm on my Xbox, playing on my Xbox.
It looks good with that current gen update. Oh my god, it is pretty.
Yes, that's another reason I jumped back in it. They released when they released the new one. Yes, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start The Witcher 3. I'm gonna play it and go through it, and just been enjoying it, man.
I did the same thing as you. I turned it on. I think a week after that patch came out, I was like, I just want to see. I'm going to start a new game, whatever. I just want to see what it looks like. And I ended up putting in another 40 hours into the game, another 40 hour. I didn't finish, go to the end, but I played for 40 hours. I'm like, that's how good, A Witcher 3 is. It's so close to a perfect game. It might be, it's so good.
It's
anyway.
I always bop around with my top 3 games of all time. It's always, Mass Effect never moves spot from number 1. And then Halo's always around there in the top 5. But it's The Last of Us Part 2 versus The Witcher 3 that I'm always like, that's my number 2. Nah, it might be my number 3. So those two games are constantly arguing for number 2 spot in my mind. It's Hearts of Stone. That's the DLC, and it is definitely worth it. I actually rebought it myself on Steam because I'm wanting to go through it here soon. I think Witcher 3 should be a great February game of the month because I know Jamie also is going through the Witcher series. I saw her on Discord the other day playing Witcher 2 because she's going through all of it. So, and you're Fraser, you're right. Nobody does side quests better. Not to mention, I want to give a shout out to their trailers. Nobody does trailers better than The Witcher. I'm telling you, I will never, ever forget the moment my buddy sat me down and he's like, dude, you gotta check this game out. And he showed me The Witcher 2 trailer where he's assassinating the king or whatever. It's not like Geralt, but the Kingslayer. He's like hops on this ship and assassinates this king. Just tells a story. And they're so long, so gorgeous, and it just sells you on the franchise immediately. And even Megan, she sat down with me and watched the Game of the Year show or whatever. And as soon as it came out, I was like, man, I should have recognized what this was just from the bath scene, right? The bath scene's legendary. So it's like, but then as soon as I saw like the two swords, I was like, oh, I know what this is. And I started freaking out, and she started freaking out, and she was just as invested into the story that was happening in that trailer as I was. And I love it so much. But we're gonna go ahead and stop it there because we're at an hour and 5 minutes. Thank you all so much for watching. Everybody's Blue Skies accounts, everybody's links are in the comment section below. So if you want to go follow us individually, and make sure to check out Marcus's content. He's always posting stuff. Make sure to check out the Disposables podcast. Make sure to check out what
it is very disposable.
It's a really great show. I really enjoyed the last episode.
It really is.
Thank you.
And then
Oh
yeah, go ahead.
I'll just cut you off there. I've been playing a whole bunch of beat 'em ups recently because of how much Jason
like pushes them.
He just loves his beat 'em ups, and I'm like,
God, yeah.
I might try that. I might try that.
Did you guys ever follow Giant Bomb when Jason was there?
No.
And him and Jeff Gerstmann used to do a fighting game ranking of fighting games, but with science. And they'd basically just rank, like they were trying to rank every single fighting game. They never finished the series for multiple reasons, but fighting games and like beat 'em ups have been like his like forte for like a long time. But he was wanting to do one for beat 'em ups as well, so maybe we'll have to make that happen somehow.
Whenever I play a beat 'em up, I think of Jason. So, definitely go and check out Interactive Distractions. It's bloody ripper.
Thank you.
Bloody
Absolutely.
ripper of a time.
I do have the link to Interactive Distractions in the comments section below as well. I think I've done it every time you're on the show. So thank you all for joining us so much. We're so glad to be back. We missed you all so much. We've got lots of really cool and fun things to share with you all in 2025. We are cooking up some pretty cool ideas, and we just cannot wait to make them come to fruition. So thank you all. We hope you have a great night or day, or I guess it all depends on when you're watching this. I'm going to shut up now. Goodbye.